One of the main designers of the original Fallout series game that was released back in 1997 has posted a video about a week ago talking about how the internet has changed game development and game design, and he made some very excellent points which I would like to explore and expand on in this video. Hey guys, welcome back to Moko Talks. My name is Moko. I'm just a normal dude that likes to talk about gaming industry in general. If you like this sort of content, please do leave a like and subscribe. I really do appreciate it. So Tim Cain, one of the architects of the RPG category game design. He used to work at Bethesda as an ex-developer, I would say, and he started the whole, not started, but helped start how we view RPG games nowadays. And it is kind of interesting to see him talk about game design from his side, from the game development from his side, because we usually don't hear about the OG developers talking about the industry from their perspective, and it's like a fresh breath air to hear him say the stuff that us gamers, us oldie gamers who were born and raised in the 80s and the 90s feel and know about video games, which is missing from today's video games. And some of the points that he made were very true, and I really do appreciate him talking about them. And honestly, some of these points are things that I spoken about when I made the series for old versus modern games. I'm pleasantly surprised that we agree on most things, but I do believe there are still some points that it's not that he failed to address, but I think he just it wasn't on topic what he was talking about, and I would like to add that for the game design that's going on right now. So to not take a lot from his video, or to maybe keep you guys, just summary for you guys, what he spoke in his videos basically that the internet nowadays, with social media, with influencers, with Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, whatever social platform you're using, maybe sometimes Instagram, game design, game development basically changed to accommodate how social media is being used right now. As you guys know, a lot of influencers and a lot of people online are following the high of viral videos, be it on Instagram, TikTok, maybe even X, or Twitch clips that you may see them on Reddit or other stuff like that. And the whole vibe of the game design and game developer changed just to accommodate this kind of marketing tool, if you would say. The core subject of the point he was trying to make is that video games nowadays are not following a certain pattern or categorized as they were back in the 90s, which something I do agree with. A lot of the modern games right now are basically, how can we make this game go viral? What kind of scene we can add into this game so it just gets like a fast hit on social media, or can grab the attention of the young gamers nowadays? Because as we all know, with the expansion of the social media of TikTok, Instagram Reels, the attention span of a lot of people, a lot of kids, are very short. So they need something spicy and extra immediately in that game to attract to gain their attention, to attract them and get them to buy this game, and get influencer to recommend this game and to have players play it. And basically that's his whole video. I'm cutting a lot of things he said, important things he said short, but I'm giving you the summary here so you can understand what he said and where I gonna come in here to expand further on his points. So I do believe everything he said is 100% correct. It is an effect that's been going on nowadays, and that a lot of guys are online. A lot of people can check what this game is before they buy it, and it's different from the era we grew up with. Back in my day, I can't believe I said that word, but back in my day, we used to go to a store. We used to talk with other nerds like us, other gamers that used to manage this kind of store, who has tried this game, basically word of mouth to see if this game is for us or no. And we used to read the back. I think this is Tim even said about it. We used to read the back of the cover of the disc to see what this game is about, because you used to have like a summary. If you want like the closest example of it is basically Steam. What I love about Steam Store is that it really is a replica of how we used to buy games when we were kids. Yeah, we used to do that, but nowadays it all changed. It all Basically, we see a game going on and on and on and on Instagram. A lot of influencers making this game, talking about this game, making viral clips from it, and it basically desensitized everyone who to think for themselves to see if they like this kind of genre or not. And I've spoken about this in my series about old versus modern. The gaming companies are releasing games that are more standardized. They're trying to include everyone, and instead of making catering this sort of game to a certain group of audience that used to play this game. So, like, to give you guys an example, we used to have like RPG games, which is for only RPG players. Basically, you have tactics. You need to understand what the skill does. You need to understand how to min-max the skill or go to a certain build. Test and experiment with these skills to see if you can get to a certain build. But nowadays, this is not what's going on in RPG games. Not all of them, but some of them, where these skills don't matter. Either this skill does a lot of damage or this skill does a CC, and there you go, you have it. There's no tactics and thing because they're trying to make the game more accessible to other people who don't know how to play RPG games. We don't even have categories anymore. A lot of things are mixed and matched together, and you don't have a certain person that plays certain kind of games or a niche, let's say, of a category. Every single one plays everything, and that's, I think, is one of the effects of the internet. One which I think Tim didn't go into. He didn't talk about how companies are forced to grab as much audience as possible, even on the expense of their game losing their identity. We've seen this a lot. We've seen this happen with Assassin's Creed. We've seen it happen with Bethesda, with Fallout. Even Fallout became less of a game about using your tactics and more of a game, oh, let me just level up this one skill and I'll just win the game. God of War, a lot of these games, you see that they change their whole identity of the game to try to get more and more casual audience to play them, instead of the original audience that was playing the game back in when it was released. And he mentioned an interesting point, how streamers and influencers are changing how games are judged, and he's absolutely right there, because we're having streamers and influencers who only played shooter games play like a MOBA or an RPG game and then judge the game that it sucks, that because he doesn't know how to play it, or because it's just not his own type of game, and then having his hundreds, thousands of followers go and review bomb the game or talk shit about the game when this game just isn't for him. And we need to teach some gamers that if you have to understand who's playing the game. If this person you see playing this game usually plays a shooter games and talking shit about RPG game without actually understanding how RPG games work, then you should probably call him out on them. But I understand that it's not an easy task. And in his closing argument, he's talked about how he's unsure where he's gonna go next, and he's afraid of the future and how the internet will keep evolving and changing game design. But I do believe there's a silver lining here. There is a beacon of hope that's approaching, which are the indie companies, the indie games that are emerging nowadays, and they're bringing back the classification of gamers and games. And a lot of the old companies that are now standardized, like EA, like Ubisoft, like Bethesda, are basically drowning, and there's a lot to be thankful that. Yeah, that's all I want to say. Like, I just agree with Tim Cain. Let me know, guys, if you agree as well. And I do think that a lot of these gaming companies and game designers and developers need to just make games that are good. That is it. That's how we used to do it in the 90s. That's how it should be right now. And thankfully, that's how it's going with a lot of indie gaming companies being created. If you guys want to know more about my opinion regarding old games and modern games, and by modern games I mean post 2020, please check my playlist about old versus modern. You will not be disappointed. Okay, catch you in the next one. Bye for now. Bye bye.